Hello! Hello children, hello mummies and daddies, hello aunties and uncles and grandparents and whoever is watching this video. My name is Sylvia Milton and tonight I will be reading for you a story taken from the Romany tradition, which is called Frosty. An old man was strolling down the road with his hat cocked on one side. His name was Frosty. He had walked half a mile when he met another man, and this man was lying on his belly with his ear on the ground. What are you doing there, you fool? I am no fool. I am listening to the members of Parliament making speeches in London. You will be of use. Come with me. You have an excellent hearing. So the two walked on down the road, and they met another man with a gun on his shoulder. And what are you doing there? Don't you see what I'm doing? There's a fly on a rock in America, and I'm going to shoot it. You will be of use. Come with us. And three of them went on until they met another man. What are you doing there? Asked Frosty. There's a mill far away over there, and there is no wind. I am blowing the sails round. You will be of use. Will you come with us? And the man went with them. And so the four of them walked until they met another man, carrying one of his legs under his arm. And why do you do that? I have pulled my leg off, because otherwise I would run too fast. Oh, you must come with us. And so the five of them went on, and soon they saw another man, carrying a huge tree upon his shoulder. A great and powerful man was he. At last, the six of them came to a town. They heard the talk of the king's court, that he had an old witch who was a swift runner, and that a great reward was offered to whatever man could beat her. Let's go to the palace, said Frosty. And they went up to the palace, and Frosty and the king had a talk about the race. I have a man who will run with her, said he. And the whole band slept in the palace that night. They arose betimes, and this was the morning on which Runwell and the witch were to have the race. They began to run. Wait a bit, the old witch is beating him, exclaimed Shootwell to Frosty. So he shot a dart into her knee, ping, and Runwell beat the witch. The king was furious at this. Who are these men? He said to himself. The old witch counselled the king. Tomorrow proclaim that you desire the lake in front of the palace to be drained dry. Now, the six men were sleeping in the palace again that night, and Herewell overheard this talk. He told Frosty what was going to happen. They arose again betimes, and the king came and told them that he wanted the lake drained on the following morning. The day dawned, and out they went, every one of them. Frosty summoned Blowell, and Blowell blew the lake dry. He blew all the mud and the stones out of it and left it bare. The king did not know how to deal with them. They had beaten the witch hollow. "I will lodge them in my old iron chamber and kindle a great fire beneath it until it grows as hot as an oven, and I will burn them to death." The night fell. The king summoned the 6 men and threw open the door of this chamber. "Would you like to sleep here tonight, Frosty?" Frosty entered. "I will sleep here. It seems a warm room." The king smiled. "Yes, it is a warm room, and it'll be warmer still presently." So in went Frosty and his men. They sat down and talked a little before settling to sleep. The room grew hotter and hotter, and presently it became too hot to stay in. So Frosty cocked his hat on the other side. The men were chilled to the bone and began to shiver. When they were half dead with cold, Frosty tilted his hat up a very little. Then the room grew cool and the 6 lay down and slept. The king came in the morning to look for them, and he was amazed to find them alive. He called them outside. "Go over there and get some breakfast," said he. And when they had finished their meal, he returned and said, "I want a ship built upon the lake. I want to see it before the dawn tomorrow morning." Morning dawned, and the ship had been built. "I want the ship to sail with no water beneath it." So Frosty summoned Blowell. He blew the ship out of sight until none could see it. The king asked Frosty, "How much money do you want to be off?" "Just as much as one of my servants can carry." "You shall have it," said the king. And here comes the strong man with a huge sack. He opened the mouth of the sack. The king half filled it. "That is as much as you can carry," said the king. Strong man lifted the sack in his hand. "Do you call this trifle heavy? Fill it." So the king looked at him angrily, and he filled the sack. "I have filled it now. There, take it and be off, and do you never come here anymore." They took the gold and departed. When they had gone, the king was beside himself with grief at the loss of his entire treasure. He sent his soldiers after them. "Hear well, heard them coming. Wait a moment, I hear an army pursuing us." "Do not fear," said Frosty. The soldiers drew near to them, and Frosty cocked his hat on one side. The soldiers were rooted to the spot. They were so benumbed with cold they could not stir. In the end, old Frosty paid all of his men. He went home alone to his native village and bought a little house for himself. and there he lives to this day. And he's doing well. And the woods went there and played the fiddle for him.